we have a true icon in our midst. We are all part of Jackie's army. He is a football favourite and a savvy sports commentator. Please welcome Andy Townsend. Hello.
Maureen, how are you?
It's lovely to have you here. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. Very good. All
you
good.
don't change, do you? Like, we're going back to Italia 90 and you're still just...
Oh, I've changed a bit from the blonde hair's gone. It's only just grown out, actually,
It took a few years to get rid of the blonde hair.
It took a few years to go, but it's been replaced by a different colour now, grey.
Salt and pepper. Salt and pepper, that's what it is. There's been a lot going on in the world of football. I think we have to turn first, of course, to the Republic of Ireland.
Yes.
Because John O'Shea stepped in, interim manager for 2 games. We lost 1-0 to Switzerland.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it all?
Look, I think it's taking too long, and it's taken. I just think it's dragged on too far now. Players would feel happy, more comfortable if they knew and if they understood who they're going to be working with. The more it drags on for them, and then it's thrown upon them at the last minute a little bit, and then you're galloping into matches. Whereas I think we had an opportunity here, yes, to get the right man, but to kind of have done it by now. So I'm a little surprised it's taken as long as it's had. John's had a couple of games, and John is clearly going to have a career in football management. But we'll see. I just thought it would have been better by now for everybody concerned if we had the man in charge.
How do you think this reflects on the FAI? Because clearly there is an issue with enticing someone into this role. Fair play to John O'Shea for stepping up. Yeah,
look, you've got to go through a process. I mean, you can't get rid of Stephen Kenny and then all of a sudden get someone in within 48 hours. That's not right either. It's just that. It feels now to me like it's... I mean, I've been sort of checking the press on a regular basis over the last few months from over in the UK and expecting to hear something, expecting to see the sort of rumours start to grow where it's going to lead into a certain direction. And that hasn't happened.
Well, there was one rumour, and we just heard yesterday, Gus Poyet... He's gone from Greece.
Yes.
You know him very well. You work with him.
I do. I've worked with Gus in telly many, many times. He's certainly travelled around as a coach, and he's experienced. Got a great personality, Gus. He really has. He was a great player, and look, has had success in various ways wherever he's been. He's managed domestically. He's managed in good levels of club football as well as international football. I would be a little surprised if that's going to be the one. I would be a little surprised.
Yeah.
But you never know. Listen, never say never in football. It's that sort of business.
Well, you have been quite vocal in what you want to happen. You have mentioned a certain fella that you used to play with before.
Well, I think Roy still has something to offer in terms of football management.
Roy Keane?
I do. Look, he would polarise opinion. I think a lot of fans would be right behind him if he got the job. I saw him recently, actually, at a game I was working on, and he, again, I know that he still perhaps feels that he's got more to do as a manager.
I think everyone has kind of always felt that. And I suppose with the Ireland job, it wouldn't be as full on if he was back, you know, in the Premier League or the Championship in the UK. But still, he's got incredibly high standards.
He has. Do you know, Martin O'Neill said to me, Martin said it'd be
because they work together, obviously.
They were together. Martin said to me, it'd be interesting if someone let Roy get on with it. Now, that's the problem nowadays in terms of whatever you're doing in football nowadays. There's a million eyeballs across it. There's people above you, alongside you, that perhaps you don't always see eye to eye with or agree with. That's the biggest problem for Keane is suffering all of that. But if people let him get on with it, I think I see no reason why you can never absolutely hand on heart say that someone's going to be a roaring success, but I see no reason why he couldn't stimulate our boys and certainly get them into a better place than they've been recently.
Because you would have captained him in the World Cup.
I did.
In '94 in America.
94, I did.
What was that like? What's that experience
He was a
like?
very different character then, of course, to the one that he became.
Yeah.
And the one that, you know, we see now. He's actually a very different character off the television screen, compared to what everyone sees when he's working at the weekends. He's, you know, Roy's he's a family man, and he's great fun, and he's good character. Which is why I think that you need to have... Someone's got to have something... You've got to have a bit about him I want to see the next Ireland manager to have a bit of personality, a bit of something. Look, Jack had that. He always had that kind of little sparkle, that little twinkle in his eye. He had something else that that people could kind of go with and follow with, and I think we need that.
Didn't you all have kind of a sparkle and twinkle in your eye? That's a great picture of you. Because I was listening to a podcast recently about Italia 90. Like this great cultural moment in Ireland's football history, the pinnacle that we've had so far.
Yes.
But my God, Andy, ye worked hard and played hard.
Oh, we certainly did. We you know, that was rule number one. In fact, when Jack first approached me, he said to me, "Do you like a drink?" And sorry, you know, he said, because if you do, he said, you'll be great in our camp. And look, you know, that he encouraged us to enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
He encouraged us, you know, within reason. I mean, we used to sneak out a little bit here and there, but he would encourage us to make sure that we really enjoyed being together and being part of something that was emerging and something that was growing.
Because it's so interesting with this. In listening to this podcast, there's that thing, remember when Gaza burst into tears in Italia 90 and it became a huge talking point. Like, how could he? You know, he's a man, and there was all this thing. What do you make of the game and how it's changed? Because obviously sport is a way that men come together.
Yes.
But it was such a hard man sort of a sport, soccer.
Yes.
And we kind of do we need it to soften? Do we need lads to be able to have more emotion?
Yes, we do. I mean, part of the reason why I'm here with 3 Ireland and Aware have extended their partnership for a couple of years to encourage people. This Talk More Than Football campaign that Vinnie Jones, my old teammate Vinnie at Chelsea, is going to launch that tomorrow on all the social media platforms. You can catch all of them on 3. So yeah, that's all part of the reason why I'm here today. It has changed so much. The dressing room in my day was one where you weren't encouraged to bring any problems in. The way you sorted your problems out was the mirror, maybe talking to your wife as you switched the light off at night. That was about it. There was no time for that really. Whereas look, come on, the world's moved on. We've all moved on. We all understand. Every single one of us has issues, has problems. Believe you me, football is amazing. It's wonderful, but it's not without its problems. It's not without its issues. It's not easy, like all walks of life. People have this kind of perception of football as being, you know, the absolute lifestyle that everybody would want. Yes, it's got some great parts to it, but it's got a lot of issues too.
Yeah.
And so I think now we're at this moment now where it's time to not be afraid to talk about your issues, to get them out in the open. There are professionals that can help you. There are ways that you can find yourself coming out of a hole and moving forward.
Yeah.
But you have to start talking about it, which is why the emphasis is on talk more than football. It's not just about the game, it's about other things.
But it's a great jumping off point for people, right?
It
kind of
is.
If you're sitting there having a chat about something that happened the weekend, you can get into
and
else.
lots of, particularly men, young men go into football, groups of lads that meet up, they go to the pub, they have a beer, they go to football. They don't really want to talk about that, actually, and that's all part of this, that we're encouraging everybody to do so. You do feel better about yourself if a problem is shared or is spoken about. You know, you do. You're a liar if you say you don't. So it's time now to sort of to be brave enough to front all that up and speak about it.
And have a chat. It's the hashtag Talk More Than Football campaign with 3 and Aware.
Yes.
It is lovely chat. The eyes are just as blue in real life, lads. You know, they're piercing. Andy Townsend, thank you so much for chatting.
Thank you. Thanks so much.